everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's just me today, here to talk to you about basic hand movement. Woo! Okay, so we're gonna start off with a little review. Now, from what we did in the last conducting video that I was in, we talked about posture, where we had our wide open second, nice confident body, where to put your hands at, the whole concept of symmetry. Hope you guys haven't forgotten that. We're gonna go a little bit farther, so let's get into it. Okay, time to get into some new topics that we haven't discussed yet. And the one thing I'm going to stress again, actually, before we do that, is conducting is a movement of the elbow. I don't want to see a lot of, because that wastes energy, and you don't want that, because you will be conducting for a long time, especially in a rehearsal that lasts 3 hours long. You will probably be conducting for a large portion of that. So keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do to get started is I'm going to take my dominant hand. Now, if you need help getting into this position, remember what I talked to you about how to find that nice curve shape. Now, when we look at this side of my arm, my elbow is just a little bit, what's the word? Higher than my knuckle. Now that's okay, but we don't want something like this. I know that's an exaggeration, but we don't want that. When it comes to our hand, we want it to be even like this. Now my camera is a little bit shaky, so it might look like this at some points. We do not want that. We don't want that. We want to keep it like this, no matter how we conduct. No matter how we conduct, we always want it like that. But anyway, let's just get you guys working with one hand. Okay, so I've got this nice arm shape, got this nice hand shape. I think I'm ready to start with a nice upward motion signaling beat 1. Now, in order to do this, I want to talk to you guys about something called ictus. Now, ictus is a word that drum majors will use all the time. It's Latin, and basically what an ictus is it is the accent on which your hand signalizes the beat of the song. So here would be your first ictus point. So if this was beat 1, it would be 1, 1. Now if I were to add 4 more beats onto that, it would be ictus, 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 ictus. It's always like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your ictus points. Now, when it comes to ictus points, you always want to end up in the same place. We're really only stressing that for beat 1 right now. And what I mean by that is when you have your hand up like this, you always want to stop in the same place. But again, I just wanted to give you that definition. Let's actually talk about how I make this movement with my hand. Now, I would say that it is very easy, correct me if I'm wrong, to go up, down with a movement of your elbow and a little bit of your upper arm. Cannot stress that enough. Don't go like that. But, you know, like, it's just a very subtle movement of your upper arm. I don't want to see any, that's not what it is. Now, the thing we really want to stress early is going back to what we talked about ictus, coming back to the same point. Now, if you are having trouble coming back to the same point every time, I might have a tip for you. Now, the reason that is probably happening is because your stop is not strong enough. You have to engage the muscles in your upper arm and forearm to really get a nice stop on there. So everyone is aware that that is your ictus point for 1. Now, here's an example of perhaps what a less technique stop would look like. I didn't word that right, but could you tell where beat 1 was in that? Could you? I'd be surprised if you did. Now let me use my voice. 1, 1, 1, 1. See, it just doesn't look confident. It's confusing. So if we really want to get a good, nice stop. I engage in my wrist right here. I make sure that my wrist doesn't move down or up or my fingers spread apart. So mainly what I use is my wrist right here. I make sure that it never moves. And then it's an upper muscle movement where I just go, and I make sure that I always come back to the same place. And I engage my muscle right when I'm about to hit that ictus point. 1, 1, 1. Make sense? Okay, let's move on to something a little bit more than just this. And by that, I mean we're gonna use 2 hands. Oh yeah, buddy. Now, if your right hand is your dominant hand, first of all, good for you. You are going to have a better time conducting because the left hand is usually used to make a bunch of cues while your right hand is doing all of the conducting stuff. So if doing 2 things at the same time with hands is hard for you, you might find this challenging. So I want to bring in both hands when it comes to 1, 1, 1. Now you may immediately feel that your left arm isn't as strong as your right arm. And that's how I think that's how everyone is at first. And that's okay. So if we bring up both arms, kind of get in that nice posture, look really confident. And we just kind of do a nice 1, 1. If you look at me from the side, 1, 1, 1. The whole thing about it is there are 2 things you really want to keep in mind. The first one, make sure your hands are at equal level. We don't want hands like this. We don't want hands like this. It just doesn't look right. Second of all, we really want to stress that they are at the same point and that your hand always stays in this nice shape. Because sometimes when you go up, your hands could dip down or dip up. We don't want that. We want a nice up, down. That's it. That's easy. You guys get it, I'm sure of it. So what I want you guys to try at some point is maybe get into a mirror, maybe record yourself conducting, and just kind of practice your posture. There are geese in the sky supporting us, supporting drum majors of 2022, woo! So what I want you guys to do is maybe record yourself in a mirror or record yourself outside, kind of practice your posture, get used to the whole symmetry thing, and feel the difference between moving one hand, your dominant hand, and maybe moving your non-dominant hand. I still think that moving my non-dominant hand is a struggle for me, which it is for everyone who is not left-handed. But before we can really get into some fancy conducting styles, this has to be in place. Now, if you remember what I said a few videos ago, I talked about how technique is your basics and it's the thing that you need to cling on to the most. Now, this movement right here may not look all that important, but it is. Because of that movement, you learn how to not only stop on beat 1, but you'll know how to stop at every other ictus point. And it's just easy to know the basics. Because if you start off without basics, what you doing? Okay, so I think that is the basics for basic hand movement. Just to recap, we talked about how to make a movement with your arm, just a simple hand movement, and how it is a movement of your elbow to your wrist and not so much an upper arm movement. We talked about what ictus meant and how to apply it to your conducting. We talked about the difference between right hands and left hands, and we talked about how to deal when you're conducting with 2 hands, to keeping them aligned no matter what you do. You'll get used to it. It might be hard at first. And the last thing we talked about was making sure that your stop was noticeable and accented. So I believe that is it. I hope I didn't forget anything. I hope not. Someone will probably be like, you forgot this. But anyway, guys, if something in the video didn't make sense, let me know. I'm known to maybe make a few mistakes with my voice. It's just because I'm so excited, so I talk really fast. And I don't mean to do that, but it happens anyway. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If something didn't make sense, let me know. I hope that this was as easy as I could make it for you. Our next video is going to be a leadership video. And I believe that that's it. I hope so. I hope I didn't forget anything. I'm going to check my script a few minutes from now, and I'm going to be like, oh, dagnabbit, I forgot that one thing. I hope that won't happen. But anyway, guys, we will see you in the next video. So that's it for me. Bye! Okay, so just as a little bonus, I wanted to show you Olive's fantastic conducting technique. We've been training her forever. Olive, come here. No, sit. Up, up. Yeah, see? She's got both of her hands at equal level. She's got a nice second position. Do it again. Up. Great. Up, come on, let's dance. Yeah. She doesn't like that at all, but yeah. Okay, goodbye.